Welcome to Web 182 PHP Programming at GTCC. This is a video that is put together to give you a quick guide on how to navigate the third-party software we'll be using for this course, which is called uCertify. There's also assignments in Moodle that you will be completing. So you'll be jumping back and forth between the two sites to complete your work and readings and assignments for the course. Some of the names might be a bit similar, so I thought it would be best to give a brief overview just to make sure there's as little confusion as possible so you can maximize your time and effort for the course. So let's jump right in. Every week you want to come into Moodle and find your readings there. Although you'll be doing most of your work in uCertify, it's always good to start your week off coming into Moodle. So let's just say we take a look at Unit 3, Chapter 3. Here you see your readings, an overview of the unit, your outcomes for the unit, and then there's about 4 different things listed. Let's start with the assignment. When you look at the assignment, the Chapter 3 exercises in this case, and the Chapter 3 readings, essentially what this is, it's a combination of the readings you need to complete over in uCertify, as well as some hands-on exercises or some practice you can complete, as well as other resources that you can take advantage of, primarily in uCertify. So let's just jump over to uCertify to point out some of the things that you'll want to take advantage of. Just take note, in the readings in the first few units, I'm very specific about what you need to look at, but in later units, it's not going to be that specific because you should be pretty used to what's available to you. Just take note that you want to read the various sections, such as the introduction, and there's going to be a varying number of sections as you go through the different chapters. Take note that I specify that you can click a button called Try It Yourself, which gives you hands-on practice with code. There's videos. There's other resources available as well. So let's go ahead and jump over to uCertify. You should have gotten your access set up by now. If you haven't, go ahead back to the first unit in Moodle and make sure you get your access to uCertify. Once you have your access to uCertify, you get logged in and go to your library and you open up the PHP 5 course. This site can be a little slow or delayed at times, so just bear with it. It works pretty good, but no technology is perfect, as we know. One of the main problems I notice is that sometimes as you're scrolling through and reading, it may get hung up or may freeze for a second or two, and there may be a delay in the scrolling. All right, so once your book and resources load for the PHP 5.5 course that we're using, you'll see a few different things. The main area that we need to focus on is the chapters and lessons. At the end of the course, you can come back and work on the pre-assessment, practice tests, and all that good stuff. But for right now, the meat of it is going to be in the chapters and lessons. So going back to where we were in Moodle, we are pretty much focusing on just the readings at this point and getting the foundation of the concepts for Chapter 3. So you'd want to click on Chapters and Lessons. Somehow my page jumped. And you'll see a few different things, but the first thing you want to do, again, if you're just starting with the unit, let's go ahead and go down to Chapter 3, and you can click on the title for that chapter, and it will take you to that chapter in this online textbook. And just like any other readings, you pretty much go top to bottom, read through. And one of the interesting things to note is that this reading indicator is there. It sort of tracks how much time you spent on a particular section just for your reference. But pretty much you want to read through section by section, try the code as you're able, or as instructed, I should say. Reading through, making sure you understand. If you come across one of these try it yourself buttons, you definitely want to give that a try. It's an online code editor that lets you try your code on the fly. So that can come in handy and save you some time from having to go to your actual desktop compiler and development environment to do small activities. So you want to read through as far as you can and make sure you're understanding as you're reading. There's another try it yourself. Highly encourage you to check those out. Some chapters will have videos. Highly encourage you to watch those as well. They'll definitely improve your understanding. So we're reading through, and as we're doing this, you may not do this all of your readings in one sitting. So one thing that you can do is on the left, there is a tab that can be expanded if you click the arrow there. It's like a gray arrow with a gray tab with an arrow on it. And as you scroll through, you'll notice that the reading indicators are updated based on how much you've read or how much time you spent on a particular section. And you can pretty much click through each section of a chapter to jump straight to it. So let's say we finish reading chapter 3 up through, and we just want to get back to the summary. So there we are. That's pretty much in your assignments and readings from this unit. That's the furthest you should read at this point. And then you would want to give the exercises a try as well. Those will prepare you very well for the projects that you'll complete for each chapter or each unit. Another way to navigate for reading purposes, at the bottom of your screen, there's a button for content list, which will also open the same table of contents on the left of the window. So that's another way to get there. You can also use the buttons at the bottom to jump between sections, the previous and next buttons as well. There's a back to top button if you need that. So once you finish your readings and that particular assignment, what you want to do is head back over to Moodle, make sure you completed all of the instructions for the readings and that exercise there. Also in each assignment, there are a couple of tutorials outside of uCertify, just in case you need a little further assistance. Okay, so if we go back to the Moodle course, back to Unit 3, we've done our readings, we've done our practice exercises for self-assessment. You see a Chapter 3 quiz and a Chapter 3 exercise test. Both of these are in uCertify, but it's critical to make a little bit of clarification. So the chapter quizzes are referring to what uCertify actually refers to as a quiz. So those terms do match verbatim. At the very bottom of, if you're actually reading, and after you complete the exercises, there's also a glossary at the end of the chapter as well to help you to study. But there's a few different ways to get to the quizzes and what are called the exercise test. And one other quick note, before you take your quizzes, you actually have lots of resources that can help you prepare. If you're interested, you can check out the flashcards that are there. Now, when you're ready to actually take the graded quiz, which again matches word for word in Moodle, you can click under step 2, quiz yourself, or click the open button across from quiz, and that will take you to the quizzes. That's one way to get to the quiz. And you give that a few seconds to load. Now, once your quiz loads, just make sure to note up at the top left at the heading for the page that it says quiz. The one in the middle, the item in the middle that says test, that is the actual graded assessment. So you don't want to click on that until you're actually ready to take the quiz. You can click on learn, which will help you prepare without penalty. So you're highly encouraged to try the learn module, but when you're ready, you can take the test. And after you take the test, there will be feedback available for you. It also gives you a heads up on how many items are on each quiz. You do have multiple attempts on the quizzes as well. If you want to go back, if you're not ready to take the quiz or you've taken it and you want to go back, down at the bottom right, there is a go back button, the bottom right of the screen. Other ways to get to the quiz. If you click at the very bottom of the screen, there's a navigation bar there. There's a quiz button that will take you to the same place. Additionally, if for some reason you came in, once you log back in and you're back at the home screen, if you happen to go back at the very top of the uCertify screen, there's a course navigation button, which takes you to, you can go from there to the library. And I'm doing this just to simulate another way to get to the quizzes and exercise tests. If, let's say, you logged out and you happen to log back in and come back to the beginning of the course and uCertify, another way you can quickly get to the quizzes is what I'm about to demonstrate. You can click on the chapters and lessons again. And from this table of contents here, you'll notice across from the chapter heading, you have the flashcards and you have the quizzes. So that's another quick way to get to the quizzes. Maybe you've already done all of your readings and you're just coming back into the course and you're ready to just jump straight into the quizzes. Back over to Moodle, you also see the exercise tests that correspond to each chapter. The exercise tests are not to be confused with within the chapter exercises. The exercise tests are what the chapter refers to here, similar to quizzes, but they're referred to as exercises, and they're outside of the chapter. So if you're on this screen here, you've just come into the course, you've completed your quizzes, you've done all your readings, and you're ready to get a little more practice before you do your project, you can click on exercises here. Or if you're in the chapter, you've done all your readings, you can go to the very bottom of the chapter and item number 3 under next steps, it says do the exercises. You can either click that heading there or click the open button across from item number 3, and it will take you to the exercises. And similar to the quizzes, if you want to complete your exercise test, you can click the exercise button at the very bottom of the screen in the navigation bar there as well. So there's several ways to get to the quizzes and to get to the exercise tests. Once you select one of the options to get to the exercise tests, the screen looks very similar to the quizzes screen, but take note, again, at the very top left, the heading there actually says exercise instead of quiz. Once again, it has a number of items, and before you take the graded test, there's the learn module, which will let you get plenty of practice, and then there's the official graded test, which you can take, again, multiple attempts. And the difference between quizzes and exercise tests is that quizzes are generally going to be more basic terminology and general knowledge, whereas the exercise tests are going to be more for a little bit more understanding of coding. So you'll be presented with coding snippets, coding concepts, and then you'll have to choose maybe the correct output or choose the correct code segment, things like that. All right. So we'll go back here. Now, at that point, that's pretty much all you need within uCertify. So we'll go back over to Moodle. You've completed the assignment and the exercise within the chapter readings. You've completed the quiz for the chapter. You've completed the exercise test, which is the one outside of the chapter readings, similar to the quiz. Now, for the actual project for each chapter, starting at about chapter 3, that is not in uCertify. That's something that's been customized, and the instructions are here in Moodle. You submit it in Moodle. And in most cases, the way that the project works, it is based off of the exercise within the chapter. So you definitely want to give these a shot and do your best to complete the exercise that is within the chapter, the coding exercise that is going to be listed after the summary section in each chapter. So you want to complete those to the best of your ability. And then once you complete them and you have your code ready, you run it, you tested it, you troubleshoot to the best of your ability, go ahead and take a look or compare to the exercise solutions that are within each chapter. After that, that's where your project for each chapter will proceed from. All of your projects are going to be extensions or modified versions of the exercise projects within the chapter. And once you complete your coding, that's something you would actually do on your computer or on your web server, and you would save your files and actually upload those files directly to Moodle. The quizzes on uCertify and the exercise test on uCertify, you pretty much just complete those on uCertify, and they're automatically graded for you, and your instructor will take those grades and bring them over into Moodle. So the only thing you have to submit to Moodle are the actual projects. So hopefully that will help you out as you progress through the course. We've got uCertify and we've got Moodle. If you have any questions, definitely reach out to your instructor. But also take note that uCertify support is available for you 24/7. So don't hesitate to reach out to them as well for general questions about uCertify, even some of the course content. They have what's called mentors available for you that you're able to take advantage of. If you click on the support link, you're able to reach out to support and get the assistance you need as well. And one of the earlier assignments in the course is for you to actually take a tour of the course. So you're encouraged to take that as well if you haven't already. It walks you through all the various options that are available to you. You go item by item, pretty much like I just did, if you haven't done that already. All right. Much success to you in the course, and let's make it a great semester.